Dear ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Agathon, I am very pleased to welcome you today together with Stefan Baumann, General Manager Standard Parts here at Agathon, to the third and final day of the Agathon Technology Days 2021, which is all about standard parts. Stefan, what exciting things are in store for us today?
Thank you, Raquel. Yeah, first we start with a panel discussion about our new Guiding System Plus, a very innovative product with Stefan Nobs and Christoph Meyer. We continue with an insight in our new catalog configurator, which helps to find the right solutions and products out of our portfolio. Then we continue with guest lecturers from GF Machining Solution. It's Thomas Brauen and Pascal Frisch. And we close the session with Christoph Kelzenberg of WBA Tooling Academy Aachen.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Sounds like a very interesting day.
Thank you.
And of course, there will be plenty of room for interaction and questions today as well, which you can ask us either directly here in the chat or in an individual parallel session with our consultants. To book such a session, simply scroll down this page and select the desired consultant. Please do not hesitate to take advantage of this offer at any time today, because we are at your disposal and are already very much looking forward to a personal exchange with you. And last but not least, today you will also have the opportunity to test your standard parts knowledge in our competition. After the first guest lecture, we will be giving away one virtual reality full kit from HTC Vive Pro worth €1,200. Then I would say, let's get started with the Agathon Technology Days on standard parts. After a brief insight into our production, we'll start with an exciting panel discussion on our new Agathon Guiding System Plus. So stay with us. After a very short video, we will dive right in. Welcome back. After this exciting insight into our production, I would now like to welcome you to our panel discussion on the new Agathon Guiding System Plus. At the end of this panel discussion, there will be a Q&A, so you are very welcome to post your upcoming questions in the chat. We will have our two experts answer them for you at the end of the panel. And I am now also very pleased to welcome here Stefan Nobs. He is Head of Product Management and Business Development Standard Parts at Agathon, as well as Christoph Meyer. He is Head of Engineering Standard Parts here at Agathon. A warm welcome to you both.
Thanks. Thank you.
Stefan, the campaign for the new Agathon Guiding System Plus has been running since mid-April. How was this project initiated?
So this project we started many years ago already. For many years we made always customized designs for this according to the information we got from the customer. And this was not satisfying everybody, so neither from our side nor from customer side. We saw a lot of advantage we could improve. And at the same time, we started with the fine centering system. We could learn a lot about how to standardize, how to bring the rolling elements to the mold market. And from this, we learned all this. And some years ago, we also realized that this main guide design we have to keep. So we actually did support this customizing guiding system by additional working staff. So they made this customized guides. So we paid a lot of attention to this market, to this application. And at the same time, some years ago, we started to standardize. We did open up a project. And then we also realized we should not only standardize the guide itself, we also realized we have to bring even more benefit together, and we saw opportunities to bring down the numerous dimensions which all the mold makers were familiar with that. We are talking about 50 guiding systems. So we were able, by this flexible flange, to bring down the number to 4. So this was one partly project, and then the third project was about the wish we heard for many years, that customers do not want to have this paired guide. So then we also found a solution how we could make a guide without pairing, and we did learn and take advantage of our deep knowledge about preloaded guide elements. And finally, we also found on this third project a solution, and then finally we could only bring together all these three solutions, and we are now happy to have a product with superior benefits in many directions, and that was achieved not long ago, and now we are entering the market with this.
And what are the main advantages of this new Agathon Guiding System Plus?
Yeah, it's on one hand, it's about the planning security the customer gets. So even in mold making, they're very familiar with sliding elements, but not with rolling elements. So this is a change, complete change on the tribology. When you look at this, it's much different, and this is also more safe. Finally, you will not have any downtime because that's running forever. Also, in regards for maintenance, you have almost no downtime anymore to relubricate the tools, so it's a complete change. So, but you get a lot more planning security. And then on the other side, it's also about to save costs. So it's perhaps just a little more investment in this type of guiding system, but still this is a fraction on the whole amount you spend only for the tool itself. And then when you look at the whole life cycle of the production, so you will realize that the payback is there immediately with this system. So, yeah.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.
Christoph, let's move on to you. What are the advantages of the Agathon Guiding System Plus from a technical point of view?
Thanks. Well, from a technical point of view, I think we have to focus on the complete guiding system. And one of the most important things are the flexibility. That means we have flexibility on many different levels. And one of those is what Stefan already introduced, is that we have the possibility to give a solution to the customer with very, very stiff guiding system, but without the need of having paired guiding units. This is especially advantageous for customers who are working in cube molds or rotary molds. Then it's a combination of different systems. So we have a two-in-one solution for guiding and centering in the same system. This is advantageous because you don't need the space for the centering systems, and space is all very, very short. So they can save a lot of money without having to install them additionally, so they have less wear, etc. Further, it's not only main guiding system and centering systems. For the customers who really need it, they can say, okay, it's an additional guiding system and it's the stripper plate guiding system. So we have main guiding system, we have centering systems and stripper plate all in one solution. Another point in regards of flexibility is that we have the possibility, what has been mentioned by Stefan, to cover a huge range of different plate thicknesses by one guiding system. We have further the possibility to combine the guiding bush with all different pillars we have in our portfolio. And due to the fact that the built-in diameters are compatible with the existing mold standards, even old existing tools can be upgraded without any technical rework. Further, it's not only a high-end application solution, but it's a solution which covers both demands from the, let's say, simpler molds up to the very highest demanding molds. Maybe, let's say, it's a all-in-one purpose solution. That means it's a solution which covers the big 5 Ps from the molding industry, both from tool makers and parts producer. It's an opportunity to help to reduce the price pressure, the costs. We can give possibilities to increase the productivity. Then the precision can be increased considerably because we have no backlash. That means we are absolutely precise and repeatable. And one of the biggest problems is we always have place problems. We are always short on place. So when we can serve a solution 3-in-1, so we have much more possibility to put in additional cavities. And further, this has also been mentioned already, it helps to improve the planning for the parts producing companies.
Thank you very much, Christoph. Now, the new Agathon Guiding System Plus also promises a significant increased lifespan. What can you tell us about that?
Well, the biggest point on this one is that we have a completely different tribological system. As mentioned, and it's very well known, usually in the molding industry, sliding guides are the existing standard. Due to the fact that on sliding guides we always have a big part of wear and we have reduced lifetime, when you can, as we have changed to a rolling system, we have the opportunity to reduce the wear because a rolling element always has less wear than a sliding element. We can help to reduce the wear on the guiding system, but not only. Well, the advantages are obvious. So basically we have no wear on any parts. It's also advantages for the other parts which are built in, such as extractor, such as plungers, cores, etc., because all the plates and the parts are always perfectly centered, and this helps to increase the lifetime. Then basically we have no tilting of the plates, no blocking. That makes all the life much easier and helps to smooth all the different movements, which is also positive for reducing the maintenance part. Well, generally we can say over many years of experience as a supplier for high-end molds gave us the great opportunity to develop in our team a guiding solution which covers most of all demands from high-end molds to simpler hold molds.
And is the new Agathon Guiding System Plus also more sustainable than other conventional guiding systems?
Yes, of course. I will not enter to the discussion of going to a discussion to point on every facet of the supply chain. But let's make it very easy. Usually the parts which are living longer are more sustainable. So it's a very easy fact. And of course, if you can increase the lifetime of a guiding system by a factor 5 to 12, so we have more sustainability. It's not only an environmental benefit because we have fewer spare parts for the molds to be manufactured and to change, to delivered, to be produced, but we can also reduce considerably the lubricant amount because we can work with a minimum quantity greasing system. Financially, of course, it's also very interesting. Why is it interesting? Well, let's make a very easy example. Let's say we have 3 million of strokes we have to guarantee. Usually, as an approach, let's say every 500,000 strokes we have to make a maintenance. A maintenance costs 5,000 euro, so easily we have upcoming costs of 25,000 euros. If we can reduce now the number of maintenance cycles, so we can drop the costs. Imagine we only have 1 or even 0 maintenance cycles, then we can easily save a lot of money, from 20 maybe to 25,000 euros for every mold.
Thank you very much, Christoph. Stefan, let's move on to you again. Let's assume a customer is now interested in the new Agathon Guiding System Plus. What information do you need from him or from her in order to give him or her technically competent advice?
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, since we standardized this main guide, and now with the name System Guiding Plus, we could reduce our efforts from our side by going in touch with the customer. Before we made this customized guiding systems, now I would say we can cover up about 80% of this increase with the standardized system. And since this is standardized, we don't need to have a lot of exchange anymore. The customers, they can download all these systems to pull into the CAD station, to their CAD station with the native format. And usually we get in touch with the customer even after a while, when he already has started this the production. Then some questions come up and they need information about maintenance, because it's a system change. They don't have to lubricate that often anymore. They don't have wear, etc., etc. So most of the time it's after the first use, then a lot of questions come up, and then the customers see even more applications which we still have not yet standardized. So we get relieved. We now can use our time for this all other remaining applications and spend the time on this. So it's a change in for us how we have to work with our customers thanks to the standardization.
Thank you, Stefan. So the new Agathon Guiding System Plus was launched into the market in mid-November last year. What else can we look forward to from Agathon in the future?
Generally, let's say all the existing trends, the upcoming trends, we will focus very much. So we are trying to cover the needs from the trends which are being ongoing. And one of the biggest points is the standardization. So this is a feeling and also a demand which we get from the customers every day, that they need a higher standardized mold or tool in other applications. So this is a big need to get the customers a better standardized product, which he has the possibility to install in more than only one application. It also makes the life much easier, because you don't have to make a lot of customization, design engineering, etc. And as a specialist in the guiding system environment, we are very well networked with customers and also other partners. And we have a lot of discussion what could be upcoming in the future, what are the existing trends. And out of these discussions, we have a lot of visions. But not only visions, we have running projects at the moment. And one of those projects, or of the many projects we have, originally or historically, Agathon was rising from the fine mechanical industry, and this is something we are going to develop even more. But not only, also the mechatronical part will be more important over the time. So this is something we for sure will not lose out of sight. But beside of these trends which may come, I think it's very important not to lose out of sight our customers' needs. Maybe a customer say, okay, standardization is okay, but it does not cover my demands. So what we offer to the customer is to find solution, standardized solution for his application range, and to get him the best out of the tools under the point of view of total cost of ownership.
Thank you, Christoph.
You're welcome.
Yes, the new Agathon Guiding System Plus is not the only novelty here at Agathon. The catalog configurator has also been updated. Stefan, what can you give us? Can you give us an overview here?
Yes, thank you, Raquel. With pleasure. I would like to introduce you our new online catalog. It's additionally new with this configurator. Of course, also on this new version, online version, we did also pay a lot of attention to our slogan, to guiding, centering, and quick change. And now I would like to show you some of these new features. I will just go roughly through this online catalog. So when we start, you will see that that we have all our customer market segments on the top. It's about die tooling, mold making, and then also for the overall machine industry automatization, we also have already a certain selection the customer can go through. And then we also did remain the way the customers were familiar with our catalog by now. So you will see all this well-known chapter we already had in the past. Now new is also that you can select one of this or several chapters, and then you can download them. For example, for die tooling, you may go to this chapter, and then you can only download this chapter of this isodine guiding elements. Of course, you can also go to another chapter, which is all about the technology, about guiding and centering elements. You can learn all these new features from here, about this roller guide unit we now have without to pair, etc., etc. So all what we have in the past is now here, but then we also went on. We created some new subjects about innovation. First of them is all about tribology. You will find all the differences with also competing systems. It's most about, on the left, you will see about the behavior of a guide who is rolling compared with sliding systems, even sliding system you are going to coat. And you will see how much lubrication does even go and enter the surface, and you can see all the comparisons to the rolling elements about the efficiency, etc. So this is also brand new content we brought into this new catalog. We then also brought in more information about applications. So you will get all the information about the guiding system, something we know best for many decades already. And then also a new chapter we did open up. It's about centering systems. Even on this chapter, you will find now all standards about centering. In the meantime, we have several standards established and are on the market. And then the youngest baby, it's about quick change. It's very similar, comparable to centering systems, but it's more or less on static application focusing. So all is in here, and then we have some more innovation about speed. In recent time, we did also make a difference because we understood that our customers are using our centering and guiding systems not only for dynamic purposes, they also have other applications, even easy applications who may appear very easy. It's about to compete the pin, a simple pin connection. So we call this a static application. But when you often have to take out the plate, then it's better to use rolling elements. And for this all we have some solutions. Also on this chapter, very interestingly, is also some new features you will find about to make the counter rolling surface by yourself without bushings, because of customer does not have a lot of space left. So this is all these combinations and all these new features you will find even in this chapter about static and dynamic applications. And then we did also make another segmentation. It's about movement. Also here, Agathon is not only about linear movements. With Agathon guide elements, you can rotate or even you can combine this. Also about this, you will have some more information and only focusing about such a subject. So that's the big advantage of the customer. Every customer has his own competence, his own direction, what he is doing, and he does not need all the information of the whole catalog. So now he can select what he is interested in, and most of those verti customer they have a database for their designers, for their production team, whatever. And now with this configurator, you can easily bring in the important information to this desk, and then all the working staff can share this information. So that's one of many ideas behind it. Please have a look at this new catalog. You will find the link on our chat box. And when we're going to have an outlook to the future, we will continue to segmentation. We will make even more small portion, easy portions for our customers, and we will go ahead with this and do more in this direction. I would like to say thank you for your attention, and I'm going to pass back to Raquel. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan, for this interesting insight into the new catalog configurator. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we've almost reached the end of our panel discussion on the new Agathon Guiding System Plus. And now I would also like to ask the questions that came up from the audience. Someone is asking, how easy is the installation?
Well, the installation is very easy. It's basically a plug-and-play solution. So due to the fact that we have standard diameter for the built-in diameters on the molds, it's basically uninstalling the old ones, installing the new ones without any tools. And for the movable ring, which allows us to cover many different plate thicknesses, to move this ring, it's very easy. It can be done with a ballpoint pen within 10-15 seconds without experience. And it makes it very easy to really adapt it to the needs. One of the feedbacks we have got from customers is that even for the assembly of the mold halves on the working bench, when they start to assemble the molds, the fact that they don't have any disalignment, it's no tilting, no blocking of the guiding systems, it already is the biggest positive point to install such a system, because assembling the molds when this Guiding System Plus is installed makes the life of all the tool makers much, much easier than before.
Thank you, Christoph. Someone else is asking, to what extent can the application engineering provide support, Stefan?
Finally, they can go very far, because all our application engineers, they also come from the opposite side. They used to work as a designer, they used to work in the maintenance, tool maintenance. They were also working in the production, so they should know all this, what our customers are asking us. Of course, at the same time, they did learn about our products, about rolling elements being preloaded, etc. And for this, they have a very good background to support our customers daily. And they also have several tools to use. They can use a CAD station, so they can study the idea of the customers. They can perhaps advise and improve this application, and so therefore they can go back and forth with the customer. They also have some other calculations tools on the technical side about the load distribution, and they have a knowledge about force cases, about moment load or side load, etc. So I would say our support can go very far, and we do that daily.
Thank you, Stefan. And then there's a last question. How easy is the stock keeping?
Okay, well, stock keeping is very easy. As we have heard, we can cover a huge range of existing guiding systems which are being provided by different manufacturers. So with only 4 guiding systems or bushes, we have a big range to which can be covered. So that means instead of having a guiding system on stock for each tool itself, basically we have 4 guiding systems which can cover most of the range from the customer. So stock keeping costs drops considerably, and the biggest point and advantage for the customer is that he can get the parts immediately. If we talk about customized solution, then we always have the problem of a big delivery delay. We have time to produce. And with our new guiding systems, it's available from stock at Agathon. So even if they have an emergency, which hopefully will not exist, but even if they have an emergency, they can be sure replacement can be shipped very, very fast.
Yeah, thank you very much. This brings us to the end of this very interesting panel discussion on the new Agathon Guiding System Plus. Thank you very much for being here, Stefan Nobs and Christoph Meyer.
Welcome.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this panel discussion. Now we would like to take this opportunity to ask you, what possibilities do you dream of? What would you wish Agathon to realize for you if anything was possible? There are no limits to your ideas. Please write us your wishes in the chat. We are already very curious to know what your wishes to us are. And now, after a very short teaser, we will continue with the second part of today's event, where 2 highly interesting guest lectures await you, one by Thomas Brauen and Pascal Frisch from the GF Machining Solution Sales Switzerland, and another one by Dr. Christoph Kelzenberg from the WBA Tooling Academy, and of course also our competition. So stay with us. After a very short teaser, we will be right back. Well, welcome back. As already announced, 2 highly interesting guest lectures are now waiting for you. The first guest lecture you are about to hear is from Thomas Brauen and Pascal Frisch from GF Machining Solutions Sales Switzerland. They will be lecturing about the developments in the digital transformation, newer processes such as 3D laser ablation and additive manufacturing, as well as the latest trends in the better-known technologies. After their guest lecture, our competition will take place, where you will have the chance to win 1 virtual reality full kit from HTC Vive Pro worth €1,200. So don't miss out on this under any circumstances. But first of all, we wish you interesting inputs from our guest speakers Thomas Brauen and Pascal Frisch from GF Machining Solutions Sales Switzerland. And with that, I'm very happy to hand over to you, Thomas and Pascal.
Good day, everybody. My name is Pascal Frisch. I am from the company GF Machining Solutions, and I am in charge of the software business marketing in the company. Today, I would like to show you and to explain you how GFMS is doing its digital transformation. As you may know, GFMS is a worldwide company, and we do have a unique technology portfolio. Milling machine, EDM technology, laser, additive manufacturing, micro machining, spindle, tooling and automation, and finally, the digital business, which is helping us to develop the software and for the future ongoing transformation. How GFMS is doing and building its digital transformation. So as you can see on the screen, on the left-hand side, you see the Industry 4.0. As you can see, an operator is working with a closed system, and on the right-hand side, you see an operator moving two robots where they are completely synchronized through what we call the digital interaction of data. To do that, we need, of course, to develop something. We need to do and have a transformation. So how do we stick to that, and how did we realize this transformation? We follow the norms RAMI, which is Reference Architecture Model Industry 4.0. The norm has been built in 2008 with 3 axes. We have on the Z-axis the functional layer, which is very important to GFMS. On the X-axis, we have the product life cycle. And on the Y-axis, we have the production axis. The functional layer helps us to build our IIoT stack. IIoT stands for Industrial Internet of Things. This is the architecture that we need to push data from the machine level up to a business application level. When you build a house, you need a strong foundation. And GFMS did exactly this path. So firstly, we integrated on every single machine from mid-2017 what we call a AirConnect box. Secondly, we move ahead with a data standardization across all our technology, which makes GFMS unique in that sense. We choose OPC UA, which is a well-known format. On top of that, the smart device and smart sensors are also part of the game of the digital transformation. These 3 aspects make our machine smart and Industry 4.0 ready. What are the benefits for you, customers? First of all, the box inside our machine allows the customer to have an open connectivity and to connect his machine to the world. Secondly, OPC UA as a norm helps us to simplify the interface. The smart devices and smart sensors, they are there to have real-time analysis. And of course, for every customer who are using our technology, they would like to have a return on investment. And the data management and to get the data are the basis. If we move in the IoT stack on the on-site software, we do have also a quite interesting offer, which is also the continuous process improvement in the entire value chain in the production. First of all, we offer a live remote assistance to our customer. So our customers are in charge to answer to every service request from our customers on a worldwide basis. Secondly, the workshop manager. The workshop manager is a kind of chief orchestra in the whole manufacturing chain. How the handling with a linear robot from a milling machine to a EDM or laser texturing machine will work. This software is there for that. True solution is a digitalization from the CAD design until the final part of a process to ensure the best fit of every single electrode in a mold and die industry. E-tracking is the way of having a traceability in the production. How can we ensure that every single part going out of our EDM technology are produced in a correct and quality manner with the accuracy that the customer is looking for? This is our answer to our customer. So the benefits are, first of all, we can save and we can close cases remotely. We did some analysis, and up to 70% we can have service cases solved remotely, which is a win-win situation for the customer as well as for GFMS. You avoid and you don't lose time and on traveling and also on waiting time. So our customers are very proud about the result of that. The workshop manager is there to optimize the all handling processes that you may have in a manufacturing chain. True precision allows the full digital process in a perfect accuracy. We can reach a plus minus 2 micron with this kind of solution in mold and die industry. Then the e-tracking is also to get the part right. Once the parameters are set in the production, then the machining will follow always the same rules. And e-tracking is like a video recorder and an oscilloscope to always control, check, to ensure the final quality part. What are the paths? The first things to do, again, is connect the machine. And this is the basic. And GFMS is doing this path now. It is happening, and the customers can use our connectivity. The digital services is a worldwide PAN where all our machines are equipped with this. And that's translated to a digital service for our customer able to do remotely a service cases and also an analysis. The digital factories, all the intelligent manufacturing environment are looking for this kind of solution. When a customer is investing in our technology, it's a lot of money. And they would like to ensure to better efficiency, to ensure the productivity. So how can we improve and increase this efficiency and productivity is most probably to understand how the machining is behaving. And how the machining is behaving, this is translated from the data analysis that the customer will use. We do have 3 pillars in GFMS regarding the digital customer service, the augmented machine capabilities, how can we have capabilities from the machine that our customer purchase, and finally, how can we have a process integration and an optimization on those processes. And this is exactly what the software are delivering to our customer. Let's talk about the digital services. How the Meccano and the solution for our customer. The customer, as in own factory, can, through his intranet, have a customer cockpit. This customer cockpit offers some features to the customer. First, to get directly online with the HMI, the control panel of the machine, to be able to tune and to set some parameters. Secondly, the customer cockpit offers also to transfer file. For example, CAD/CAM file, firmware, software upgrade that it may need to be. When a customer send us a service request, he needs a help, he needs a support. For that, our customer care is always aware about which customer is sending a service request. We answer within 30 minutes, and we can get in touch and connected directly to the machine of the customer straight away. To do that, we ensure the quality of the encryption data, and we ensure the whole safety environment. By the way, we are TÜV IT certified every 2 single years. Finally, when a customer is at home during the weekend or during the lunchtime or evening, if the machine is working 24 hours per day, they can have a look and they know exactly the status of the machine and how the production is performing. We have a solution called the AirConnect Messenger, which is an application on a smartphone. Let's move now to the connectivity topic. We implemented at GFMS OPC UA standard. What does it mean? OPC UA deliver data to any third-party software. Our customer may have an ERP system in place, may have a MES in place, or custom dashboard in place. Nevertheless, OPC UA is a standard, and we deliver also many data ready to use. What does it mean? OPC UA is a technology well known that every supplier in the automation is delivering. But what about the semantic, the language that is integrated in this OPC UA interface? So GFMS implemented a common language across all our technology. Pre-computed KPI. What are the efficiency? What are the production in %? We give also this answer through our OPC UA, which is very useful for our customer. Behind the KPI computation, we have also the norm to respect. GFMS decided to go with ISO 22400, but nevertheless, if a customer is using another norm as a time model, we can adapt and the customer can use our data ready to use to do the computed KPI on the norms that they wish to. Secure encrypted connection. This is most probably one of the main reasons also why OPC UA becomes so popular. We can encrypted save as an e-banking system the all data that are transferred from our machine, which is the OPC UA server, to a third-party software, which is the OPC UA client. And this connection is completely safe due to the encryption capabilities of our technology. As you can see, we have many different possibilities to connect the machine to diverse systems. And finally, what I would like just to show you is that we deliver 41 data about machine identity, machine status, process information, error messages, and KPI measurement. As a wrap-up, the customer is looking for process accuracy, reduce lead time, to-be compliance, fix the problem as soon as we can, integrate control quality, connect to MES or ERP system, monitor the machine performance. This is just a resume about what you as a customer is looking for. So the GF machining solution is offering that, the connectivity, that data are the new gold today, and everybody knows that. Then collaboration with cloud platform. This is the future for us as well, to offer web-based access. Servicitization, the service becomes more and more important. Finally, the augmented machines capabilities, how can we twin that? And finally, to be also in the intelligent manufacturing world. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will move now and switch to my colleague, Thomas Brauen. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas Brauen. I'm in charge of sales manager at GF Machining Solutions, Sales Switzerland. And in the next couple of minutes, I will introduce you to the news of GF Machining Solutions portfolio, news and trends. So, the laser texturing is one of the newest segment what we have in our portfolio. The first part what I show is a part, it's nearly impossible to produce it on standard processes like erosion or etching or milling, sandblasting. So it's very difficult to do it. So the part is round and is very dedicated special partitions. In Our next coming minutes, I talk about the laser texturing, laser micromachining, and additive manufacturing, and a little bit on EDM. Our laser portfolio is a huge portfolio. We start with 400 times 400 in room space. So, and the biggest one actually is the laser 4000U. We miss actually in the middle the white field. The laser 2500U is coming this year in the sales. Several machine has the possibility to work with 2 laser source, so and some is only with 1 laser source. Our applications. Today we have a lot of possibilities to go in nice things, so we can play with colors, with hot and warm colors. Then we have design, what we can do, or production for jewelry. So you see the different processes what we have, from small parts to large parts, like cockpits in trucks. On the laser 400U, for example, we have the dual machine head. It's a nanosecond source or a femtosecond flexipulse laser, and we have the possibility in the same process switch from one to the other source in only less than 1 second. Yeah, we try to listen to the market, so we want to be innovative. Our customer has to be innovative. We have special needs, for example, also in the optical market. When we program some structures for the parts, we have several possibilities. If we go for 3-axis, 2 and 3-axis, we go directly with our CAM system Reno 3D direct to the machine. If we have round parts or 5-axis parts, we go over the laser simulation that we exactly know what it's happened when the machine is finished. Here the examples of the CAD datas. Then we have the possibility to say which structure we want to have on which part. Then we go over to simulate. We have patch sizes. The patch is a very good system that we have the not splitted part. So if we move with the laser source in mechanical parts, so we have to stop a little bit the process. And if we stop the process in the middle of a patch, it's not nice in the surface. So with the patch size, we have all parts exactly what we want. And then we make the simulation and go to machining. All our laser machines are also pick and place automation with pallets or part by part. In medical, we have antibacterial surfaces. What's possible is to produce. We have surfaces with no treatment, so it looks like this. You see the bacterials. Then you have competitor products, and our products with FlexiPulse. You see less particles on the surface, so it's very good for the implants. A next thing is also to make an identification right in the part. You know the sandblasting, we make laser blasting, and in this laser blasting we have the possibility to integrate some QR codes, some descriptions like the logo, what you see here. So, and it's only visible with a special application. Everybody has this part in the pocket, so it's the camera of the mobile phone. The mobile phone, the lens, for the camera, for the zoom, is a very, very small part. So you see the possibilities what we have to change the colors is like from every color to the size, the big size, small size. And with our machine, we laser the market areas, and this area has at the end a structure like this. Looks like sandblasting, but is laser blasting. If we look to the surface, the sandblasting surface looks like this. And if we do it by our machine, the structure is very homogeneous. We have another test in sapphire. Engraving is possible in this material. Here you see the process with the red laser engraving, and you see the structure of the contour is not so nice. Also the sharp edge here is very splittering. If we do it with the green laser, you see much more details in the face of the girl, and you see also the shape here is very strong, very straight. With the machine, we have also the possibility to cut. It's not the first thing to do it with this machine, but we have the possibility here, part in titanium, and also a part in material in the jewelry industry. So if we do such things, you see we have a deepness of 50 microns, and we have straight walls with a cone of 5 degrees. Laser microcutting. Laser microcutting, we do it with our ML5 from Microlution. It is a machine. It's possible to cut in plus minus 1 micron and realize surface qualities below RA01. A next machine type is the additive manufacturing. We do this in GF machining solution with the DMP Flex or Factory. Flex for different materials, so easy change the material, the powder, or Factory is an integrated cleaning of the powder, and we work on these machines only with one single powder. DMP 500 or 350, it means the room, the space when we have the parts size. What's possible? 4 challenges. What we have is weight reduction. It's nearly impossible to cut and mill or grinding. So we have the possibility to produce parts like this, or lead time reduction. Lead time, here we have a part with additive manufacturing, we are below 1 day. Below 3 days, and the normal days is over 3 weeks to produce such parts. Function optimization, so that's a possibility to do with this process, or mold improvement, heating and cooling with channels inside the form. The CUT AM500 is the machine to split the parts that we produce in additive manufacturing from the bottom. So every part is fixed on the bottom, and you have different possibilities to put it away with a saw, with broking, but it's always mechanical deform, and it's not so good for the special parts. So we have the possibility, we put a cord over the parts, and we turn around, and then we cut with wire erosion the parts from the bottom. I move over to EDM and EDM generators. So the two factories, Charmy and Agi, they produce a long time these generators, and they grow up, so the speed was faster, and we go together to the development of generators in 2010, and then with the Tomeo generator we have the possibility to make the spark track. Spark track, so we know exactly where the track is, the spark is jumping from the wire to the part. So with the spark track, between the pulse generator and the part, we know exactly where the spark is jumping. So we split, for example, the part in 32 levels, and then we can exactly know where we are. You see the part where we have is different heights, and always big problems with broken wire. You see on the right side where we cut actually, and we have in real time also the part. And we have all the time full power speed, and the machine knows exactly when she has to take back the power engine to the wire. So you see the first level is done, and the machine running with the same speed but with less power. You see it here. Every single part, we have the possibilities to know where we are. Piece example, this one was a test, but this one is a real time, is a real part. So you have these sections where you have to be very careful with the inserts, with the power, with the wire, that you don't have broken wires. A last thing is the milling. In milling, we have the Mill S and Mill X series. And the newest option what we have in this year is also grinding. Grinding of products direct on the milling machine is coming at Q3, Q4 this year in sales. So we have also the possibilities to adjust the grinding corps, so we know exactly the diameters and the possibilities. And my last one is the Mill P800U. It's a machine with new options, but a very important thing is we have here a machine with traveling from 800 to 800 millimeters. We have 220 tools. We have 20 pallets for work parts, and we need not more than 7.6 meters to 6 meters. So low space floor needed, and that's a big benefit. Space is money. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Bye.
Thank you very much, Thomas and Pascal, for your very interesting guest lecture here at the Agathon Technology Days 2021. Thank you very much for being here and for sharing your knowledge with us. Dear ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with our next guest lecture by Dr. Christoph Kelsenberg from the WBA Tooling Academy on the topics of tool manufacturing processes, Industry 4.0 in tool making, as well as intelligent tools, you'll now have the chance to win one virtual reality full kit from HTC Vive Pro worth 1,200 euros. All you have to do is to prove your knowledge in standard parts and answer 5 questions. You will now see a QR code displayed which you can scan to access the competition page, or you can also enter the displayed link into your browser in order to access the competition page. For the draw, Please register with your first and last name. Your answers will be evaluated until the end of the guest lecture, and the name of the winner will be announced right after. We keep our fingers crossed for you in our competition and see you again in 5 minutes for the guest lecture by Dr. Christoph Kelsenberg from the WBA Tooling Academy. Welcome back. We keep our fingers crossed for you in our competition and are now very pleased to present our next guest lecture from Dr. Christoph Kelzenberg. He is the head of consulting of the WBA Tooling Academy. He will be lecturing on Industry 4.0 in tool making, intelligent tools, and also, among other things, explore the question of where tool making must develop in order to remain successful. Once again, we wish you a lot of interesting insights, and having said that, I'm very happy to hand over to you, Dr. Christoph Kelzenberg.
Perfect. Raquel, thank you very much for, again, the nice introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy to be here today and to give you a quick insight on Quo Vadis tool and die making, because, you know, tool and die making or tool and mold making is on some kind of tipping point, especially when we talk about the German-speaking areas. We are still dealing with the automotive crisis since mid of 2019. Approximately 1 year later, the topic of Corona came into everybody's life, which made things unfortunately not easier. And moreover, the let's call it price battle or cost cutting in terms of tool and mold prices. That's something the companies are battling or are struggling with for a long time. So the question now is, what is the future of tool and mold making in German-speaking companies, and what kind of different success factors need to be set up on a strategic manner and, of course, implemented on an operational level. That's that's the let's say overall topic I would like to talk about. Why am I the person to talk about that? Just a quick insight on the company I work with and to myself. So I'm Christoph Kelzenberg. I'm the authorized officer and head of consulting of WBA Tooling Academy. Moreover, I'm chief engineer at the department business development at the Laboratory for Machine Tools and Production Engineering at the University of Technology in Aachen. So as a business developer, you know that the main tasks are to detect trends, to derive topics, and to break it down onto the operational level, and of course to put that in some strategic framework. And we are, you can call us a business developer for tool and mold making companies. For all of you who are not aware of what we are doing with the WBA Tooling Academy, we are the first and key contact point when it comes to tool and mold manufacturers. Mainly, we do have some projects with suppliers, e.g. companies that do machinery or that do other parts for tool shops, as well as the procurement department. So we use all our knowledge about the national and international tool and mold making markets. Our main businesses are the classic consulting, the further education, the research and development. So we are founded out of two institutes out of the University of Technology. So research and development is basically within our blood. And we do have an internal software development department because we'll talk about that later on. Industry 4.0, Internet of Things, call it what you want, is going to be a very, very significant part when it comes not only to tool and mold manufacturing, and that's why we need to build up those competencies. We do have our own tool shop in Aachen. That's the basis of our work. So we manufacture tools, tool components, basically as extended workbench for the German-speaking branch. We do, furthermore, have a strong community. Strong community consists out of roughly 90 tool and die making, tool and mold making companies, as well as suppliers. And all those companies, they have the strong will to develop the tool and mold making company of the future. And now we come back to what we do as business developer. We would like to develop tool and die making companies from the traditional handcrafted chip over the industrial tool and mold making up to digital and sustainable tool and mold making. This continuous change in production and of course that has some effects on tool and mode making. But I would like to first start with even a layer above the global megatrends that everybody is facing right now. So maybe it's 12, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 11 megatrends, depending on the source, on the entity you're looking at. They cut the topics into different trends. So what you can see here on this slide covers everything what's happening right now and will happen in the future and has especially effect on the future. I don't do a deep dive on each and every of these megatrends, just like to point out a few. Globalization, especially a topic that is in our mind and head for a couple of years. Local sourcing as well as globalization, some nice buzzwords on that. Furthermore, the growth of population, especially in regions like India, Asia, and other countries. If we talk or if we think about this megatrend in terms of Corona, we have experienced that a lot of Syrian producing companies, they did a switch in terms of their supply chains, because in China, in Asia, and even in Eastern Europe, it could have been difficult to source components, to source tools and molds whatsoever. So we expect that the globalization will rather be real globalization. Yeah, digitalization, artificial intelligence, again, some words like smart services, IoT, AR, and VR, topics that are part of this trend. I think in the context of Corona, this has been highly or rapidly put into not the future, but today. I think Corona was, speaking positive, mainly the only positive thing about Corona, was a booster for the digitalization in both in the private sector as well as in the business sector. New work topics like work-life blending, like self-realization, talentism, and topics like urbanization. I think with Corona, home office is something that we have in talking about everybody in the world haven't mentioned or haven't thought about that home office will be a very, very strong part of our life in the next decades, I'm pretty sure. And the own forward, so your own flat, your own house, gets more and more attention. Although we in Germany are quite happy that the restaurants are opening right now. Talking about this few megatrends, back to tool and mold making, what effects do these trends have on tool and mold making and their customers? And speaking in terms of tool and mold making companies, how should I position my company to be competitive in the future? We have come up with a few scenarios on how we think that tool and mold making, especially in German-speaking countries, will develop. And I would like to give you a quick insight. What did we do in order to get this four future scenarios? Starting on the left-hand side, you see data and key performance indicators. So first of all, we have a strong database. We have a big database here in Aachen because we are dealing with tool and die making 25, almost 30 years, and not only in a qualitative way, but also focusing on data, which means we have more than 1,000 data sets of German-speaking tool and mold making shops, and this data is not older than 5 years. Furthermore, we have more than 2,000 data sets of international tool and mold making companies. Why do we possess this huge amount of data? We have a competition annually called Excellence in Production. Roughly 300 companies participate. They deliver data, and when I talk about data set, I mean that every data set, if it's complete, we have roughly 200 data points. So we have everything which is relevant, you can imagine, we have in our database. Furthermore, we executed interviews. We did surveys within our community You've seen the slides before. We do interviews in terms of this excellence in production competition. We know the, let's say, executive and employees with personal responsibility at the serious production companies. And of course, we have contacts to other, let's say, local specific communities. Yeah, we do as well, besides the consulting and further education topics, we do research in tool and mold making. And out of that, we have developed a couple of years ago certain business models which make sense to execute in this niche of production. So this kind of business models have been developed and enhanced years over years. And furthermore, that's the fourth point to add here. Let's say general influencing factors on tool and mold making companies from, let's say, investors, from the market in general, from politics, suppliers, customers. So any input you can imagine, we have put that into our mind. We have, we have not rolled the dice, but we have taken everything into account, what we could get out of the German-speaking tool and mold making branch, and have derived 4 realistic future scenarios, especially for tool and mold manufacturers in German-speaking countries. Now I'd like to name these four scenarios. You see them on the right-hand side. The first one is so-called the maintainer. The second one is the engineer and the qualifier. The third one is the highly automated tool and mold manufacturer. And the fourth one is the productivity enabler. So that's basically the result out of our scenario process. I will do some deep dive. What does it mean to be a maintainer in the future, for example? But before I do that, I would like to outline here that this kind of scenario technique usually integrates a so-called scenario funnel, which basically illustrates the timeline from today to the future. Of course, we have some uncertainties when we talk about the branch itself, but of course, when we talk about these future scenarios as well. They do vary in their occurrence, of course. And for those who are aware of the scenario technique, you know that usually let's say the positive extreme scenario is on the top, and the negative extreme scenario is on the bottom, with the let's say with the aim of we are pro tool and mold making. We have did it the other way around. So and from the, let's say, from the different steps I would like to outline later, it makes more sense to start with the maintainer. To be honest, that is the negative extreme scenario that we can see, or that might be possible in the future for German-speaking tool and mold manufacturers. And yeah, the most positive would be the productivity enabler. Before I do a deep dive into these four different future scenarios, I would like to outline a very important point, the so-called strategic success factors that need to be considered when we talk about getting to this kind of, or one of those 4 future scenarios, but they do have relevance all over. These 5 success factors you see here, I call them strategic success factors for tool and die making in roughly 10 years, are Internet of Things, digitalization, Industry 4.0, you name it, everything which comes into your mind when we talk about generating data, gathering data, analyze data, and to use that for database decision making. The second factor is database business models. I think some different branches, when I see Heidelberg Druckmaschinen or when I see the new business model of DMG Mori, they show that different business models which increase the benefit of the customer might be not easy to implement, but worth to take a look at. It's some kind of mind and game changer if tool and mold making companies are possible to realize this kind of business model. We are pretty sure that this will come in the next couple of years. Sustainable value creation, I've talked about the requirements of stakeholders. Sustainability is getting more and more important, and as some OEMs are not willing, but they said we will only work together with suppliers that work sustainable. That's something, a tool shop or a mold manufacturer needs to execute in short term, to be honest. Collaboration. In Aachen, we usually talk about the collaboration productivity, especially in some kind of in this niche branch of tool and mold making. It's very important to work closely together, especially when we have the situation that especially the German-speaking companies are very, very good when it comes to product innovation. But of course, the international markets, they have learned a lot. They are getting more and more speed. So the German-speaking companies need to collaborate to get more and more innovation. I've talked to a CEO of a German mold manufacturing company, roughly 400 employees, and he says, well, to be in Germany in the next 10 or even the next 5 years, we need to be innovative, and this innovation will roughly last for 4 to 5 years. And then the Asian companies, they know that they are able to use this innovation for their customers. And then the German companies, they need to come around the corner with another innovation. So innovation will be a strong topic in order to be able to still manufacture new tools and molds in German-speaking countries. And of course, the fifth point, innovative manufacturing technologies. The tool and mold making companies usually come from innovative manufacturing technologies, and they need to be set up not only in your internal manufacturing, but also try to innovate and to enhance the manufacturing process of your customer. Yeah, so these are the strategic success factors, and as promised, I will do a deep dive into the different scenarios on how we see the future of German-speaking tool shops. And on the left-hand side, you will see the level of, or let's say the different intensities on how the different strategic success factors, pay into this strategic scenario. So just to make it clear on the slide, you will see here on the left-hand side, the strategic success factors. With the orange lane, you see how intense the company needs to tackle this kind of success factor. Talking about the maintainer, my key thesis is that in 2030, not a single tool or mold is manufactured, not a single new tool or new mold is manufactured in German-speaking countries. As you can derive, that's a very negative, extreme scenario, but that could happen. Why could it happen? Because in case we have a development that we have an extreme, continuously increasing cost pressure, if that is going to accelerate, there's a decent chance that these prices can only be addressed by Asian tool and mold manufacturing companies. So there is no business in terms of new tools and molds for the German-speaking countries. What are the, let's call it, requirements? The producing companies, they get more and more cost pressure even higher than expected before. And when we talk about in detail about the tool and mold manufacturing companies, they are in this specific situation, they will not be able to develop solutions to differentiate long term. So the strategy must be to focus on Industry 4.0, on Internet of Things, especially when we talk about maintenance of tools. And why should they do that? Because if we have the situation that the German companies are on very extreme cost pressure, I'm pretty sure we will have some external service providers raising out of nowhere, and now these kind of new companies will fight with the traditional German tool and mold makers about the business. As you can see on the left-hand side, and as I said before, the Internet of Things, Industry 4.0 will be the main strategic success factor to tackle on. And to see here, we, to be honest, see that this scenario will not occur, or just on a low level. We have talked to our WBA community about that. As I said, roughly 90 companies, and only 1% of the tool shops say that is going to be the scenario I will see myself in the next 10 years. So pretty sure that the companies in German-speaking countries will gain new tools. And actually, the second scenario is just about to state that. It says, the engineer and the qualifier. What does that mean? It does mean that in 2030, tool and mold manufacturers only focus on engineering and tool qualification as know-how intense activities within their value creation. Talking or speaking in different words, activities like design, work preparation, CAM, manufacturing, and even assembly will be outsourced to other companies and mainly to other countries even. So the development, when will that happen? When we still have a strong, continuously increasing of the cost pressure. What is the requirement behind? Of course, that these German-speaking companies should focus on engineering and qualification, because that is the know-how, the real know-how intense process steps. And the strategy, if that scenario will occur, will be that German-speaking companies differentiate via additional database services, especially when we talk about the interface to the customer on the front end, talking about engineering, and on the back end, when we talk about qualification. And even we see with strong regards to sustainability. And as I said before, mainly manufacturing and assembly, but work preparation, CAM, and design as well will be outsourced to companies from Eastern Europe or Asia, for example, or to speak more in general, to countries with lower labor costs. The occurrence of this scenario is definitely higher than the first one. The level of differentiation is kind of in the middle. Within our WBA community, we have seen the result that roughly 23% of the participants of the survey, they see themselves, they see their tool shop as being in this scenario of engineering and qualification. The third scenario we have derived out of our process is the so-called highly automated tool and mold manufacturer. The key thesis behind this scenario is that the majority of tool and mold manufacturers in German-speaking countries offers the entire process chain and possesses the entire process chain of value creation within their own four walls, which means from engineering, design, CAM, work preparation, manufacturing, assembly, and qualification. We see that this scenario will occur when, of course, the cost pressure will increase. To be honest, the cost pressure will, that's something which will be in the next 50 years, promise. So, but in comparison to the other scenarios, this cost pressure is, let's call it, a little bit more human than in the first and the second scenario. The requirement for these tool shops within this scenario will be that they need to further increase in their efficiency even more than they do right now. That's the only path of being able to sell tools in this scenario. The real strategy behind is, how do I increase my efficiency to increase more and more automation? And we've experienced, especially in the German-speaking companies, that automation of manufacturing processes, even in turning, in wire cutting, in basically every core technology in manufacturing is in place, or let's say some solutions are in place. That needs to be increased furthermore. And the majority of activities within design, work preparation, CAM, procurement, they need to be at least partly automatized. Definitely. We are still, we are working with partners, with external companies. They have solutions on automation of design in tool and die. making. And we have experienced within our community that there's a strong will to increase efficiency, especially in these kind of process steps, of course, in order to reduce the costs. The so-called digital interconnection alongside the entire value creation will be another main part. So enrolling Industry 4.0 alongside the entire process. Of course, the companies, they still need to develop innovative manufacturing technologies, and they need to focus on the implementation of sustainability within their processes. As I said before, the requirements from the stakeholders, from the politics, from the customers will be more sustainable in whatever you are doing. And we are basically on that path as well. We are strongly working on solutions for being more sustainable. You can see on the left-hand side that both Internet of Things / Industry 4.0 and the sustainable value creation are the main topics to focus on, followed by innovative manufacturing technologies. We see this scenario with a high occurrence and, of course, with a higher level of differentiation overall. So the last but not least scenario is called the productivity enabler. And the key thesis behind there is that the focus of tool and mold manufacturing companies in 2030 will not lay on the manufacturing of tools, but rather applying a pay-per-use concept with their customers, which means the business model will dramatically change. The development, how do we come, or does the branch come to this kind of scenario? Of course, as I said before, the cost pressure will still be strong and increasing, but furthermore, we have an overall shift, talking about all OEMs, all tier 1, tier 2 suppliers. They will have, in case they have a strong shift to sustainability, this kind of business model will be the solution for the German-speaking tool and mold shops. It says below, under requirements, as I said before, the series production, the customers through every steps of the value creation of the value chain, of the supply chain, they rethink in terms of sustainability, and they also, that's basically a part of it, they rethink of tool and mold ownership. Why do the OEMs and tier 1s possess this huge amount of tools? To be honest, we have millions of tons of steel being in the storage and used for, I don't know, a couple of hundred parts within 20 or 30 years, speaking dramatically. But talking or thinking or coming from the perspective of sustainability, that's totally wild. Why do we not reuse our tools? Why do not we develop tools with regard to sustainability in general? So as you can see, a very, very game-changing approach, this scenario number 4. In case that will apply to the branch, the strategy for the tool shops will be to procure tools and molds on the international markets. That does not necessarily say that, that there will be no new tools, but as the customers are getting a pay-per-use concept, when we talk about revenue streams, totally different way of thinking. And then it makes sense to supply tools from countries with lower labor costs. And furthermore, the offering of data-based services, which increase the productivity, both the productivity and the sustainability in serious production, will be main part of the business. You can see on the left-hand side that further again, IoT, sustainable value creation and data-based business models are the strong strategic success factors. We still believe that some companies will be part of this, or no, let's rephrase that. We're pretty sure that this kind of setting as being a productivity enabler will get awareness at the serious production companies, and we're pretty sure that a few German-speaking tool and mold manufacturers will be a productivity enabler in the future. If we talk about the entire branch, we are, to be honest, not sure. We see the overall occurrence of this scenario low, but the level of differentiation is quite high, because that's some kind of a unique selling point if we talk about global competitors in general. For those who read the slide in detail, you've seen that the IoT, or let's say Industry 4.0, will be part of each and every of these future scenarios. So maybe a quick glance at the next slide on how we see Internet of Things in tool and mode making. To be honest, we've seen about the last 5 to 7 years that companies enhance their activities when it comes to Industry 4.0, starting with, hey, let's use 1 or 2 applications, up to fully digitalized order or value creation process. So in these 2 extremes, we have basically everything when we talk about the German-speaking companies. To be honest, to seek the full potential, either in the value creation process, your internal value creation process, as well as on the interface to your customer in terms of product development and series production, you need to have an holistic approach on Industry 4.0. We've come up with this slide. Might look a little bit complicated, but to be honest, it's quite easy. You see the value creation process of tool and mode making, including the interfaces to the customer. We say that data sources as the first layer is very important to take a look at. I mean, we have single and small batch production, so that means that we have different software systems alongside the process chain, CAD, CAM, ERP, MDE, BDE, whatsoever, you name it. Let's say balancing or using only 1, 2, or 3 systems in tool making will never be realistic. What is then now the part for the tool and mold shops to really implement Industry 4.0? You need to generate these data. You need to make sure that you have access to the data. That's why you need to implement some kind of middleware solution. This middleware solution basically is some kind of data ton, which allows you, or allows the IT experts, they will be a major part in tool and die making in the future, to access these kind of rough data from the different systems. They make sure that this data can be analyzed within the next layer. And these different data alongside the entire process, it's very, very important to capture all the data and to create this so-called digital shadow. If you have this digital shadow, that's a very important point. Only if you have a digital shadow, you are able to make intelligent decision-making alongside your entire value creation process. Of course, you might have some, let's say, minor benefits if you have 1 or 2 apps or 1 or 2 single solutions. You need to connect them. As you remember, scenario 3, highly automated tool and mode manufacturer. And this highly automation is not only focusing on manufacturing, but to be honest, on each and every process step. So the holistic approach is very, very important. That should be my key message to basically end my speech. You will see that in the slides. I will give the slides to you or to Agathon to spread them. We know different solutions in different tool shops. Even in our tool shop, we have developed and integrated some solutions on digital project board, on digital tool database, how to automatically develop work plans, on how to procure automatically, how to use AR in the assembly process. And even we know companies that use Industry 4.0 to increase the customer benefit, such as Schneider Form, who are able to reduce their qualification of their tools significantly because they use the data out of this tryout and qualification process. We know the Audi tool shop, who are able to they've implemented intelligent tools which adjust in real time in their serious production processes. So as time is running, as always, we have a lot of different solutions. You as a tool shop, if you would like to remain in your business, especially in German-speaking companies, make sure to tackle Industry 4.0 to the fullest. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and to download some studies on Industry 4.0 on our homepage. Most of them we do have in English language. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.
Well, many thanks to you, Christoph, for your highly interesting guest lecture here at the Agathon Technology Days 2021. Thank you very much for being here and for sharing your knowledge with us. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our Agathon Technology Days 2021. But before saying goodbye to you, we are now, of course, very curious to find out who won one virtual reality full kit from HTC Vive Pro worth 1,200 euros in our competition. We have evaluated all the answers and are now happy to announce the lucky winner. And the winner of a virtual reality full kit from HTC Vive Pro worth 1,200 euros is, I will just check the screen, Haralampos Haralampidis. Congratulations to you, congratulations to Greece. Please enter your contact details in the chat or contact us via our social media channels so that we are able to send it to you. We already wish you a lot of fun and enjoyment with it. And dear ladies and gentlemen, this unfortunately now brings us to the end of our Agathon Technology Days 2021. We hope that we were able to inspire you with exciting innovations, support you with lots of know-how, and surprise you with fun and games. And of course, we are still at your disposal should you have any questions, wishes, or suggestions. Just write us an email or book an individual session with our consultants through this event page. To book such a session, simply scroll down this page and select the desired consultant. Please do not hesitate to take advantage of this offer at any time today still and also over the next few days, because we are at your disposal and are already very much looking forward to a personal exchange with you. We hope you found the Agathon Technology Days 2021 as interesting and as exciting as we did, and we are already very much looking forward to welcoming you in person in October in Germany at Fakuma in Friedrichshafen and right after at the International Trade Fair for Sheet Metal Working in Stuttgart. Until then, we wish you a wonderful time and above all, good health. Thank you very much for your attention and hopefully see you very soon.